We went to a PC bang and stayed up all night playing games.
Got on big game hunters.
Yes.
The free for all.
Hey, no rushing until the first 20 minutes.
안녕하세요. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Tae.
And this is Gibson, and welcome to the 5th episode of
Almost Korean. All right.
All right, so Tae, what are we talking about this week?
All right, today I'm going to go a little blast from the past.
Okay.
Talk about our childhood memories. Going back and forth, in your case, to U.S.,
I'm trying to think
Korea.
about how traumatic it was for me. Actually, not that bad. I'm ready.
No?
Let's go.
You ready?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
We gotta dig deep a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly ask you to just kind of start things off. What was your earliest memory as a child? Do you remember?
Earliest memory? That's a tough one.
3, 4 years old, maybe.
You know what? I want to say probably somewhere around like 5 or 6. I don't even think I can go back that far, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But one of the earliest memory I do have as a kid is it was like a cold winter day in New York because that's where we lived. And my dad took me to Toys R Us. And then we went out, and it was like a snowy day too. And I don't know why he chose that day, and I don't even know what the reason was. I don't think it was Christmas, but I remember making a Toys R Us trip and bringing back a whole bunch of dinosaur toys.
Nice.
I will never forget that. And for some reason, that always stuck with me.
Was that like Christmas?
I don't think it was. No. I don't think it was. Yeah. And then that was really strong. It doesn't really tie to anything specific, which is why I think it's kind of interesting. But yeah. If I had to really think of something that I can like vividly still remember, that's it. What about you?
It might be because of the picture that I have, but I do remember there was this little plastic penguin that like waddled around with the battery, and that's like the earliest thing I can remember. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old, and I think I took it to.
That's impressive. I find it pretty impressive to go back that far.
I think. They say if you have something either traumatic or something very happy that you remember, like a core memory, right? It tends to stick.
Yeah.
Or like you can remember even because what I've learned or read is that your brain doesn't fully function until about 3 years old for most kids. And then that's when your memory part of your brain kicks in.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember, this little penguin. And there's like a picture of it. I don't know what happened to it. But, I remember that was like my little toy that I like to play with and take it with me. But cool. Yeah, so for me, that memory was in Korea because I was born in Korea, right?
That's right.
But for you, that was in New York. You were born in the U.S.
It was.
So I'm interested to hear more about that because not too many people immigrate from U.S. to Korea at a young age.
Yep.
It's usually the other way around.
And especially considering the fact that this was like early 90s, that's when Koreans were trying to go to the United States, right? Go to America.
Yeah, including myself.
Yeah, and seeking that American dream. And that's what our parent generation tried to do so hard. But for my case, my dad actually had an opportunity to go to the States really early on. I believe my dad went to America back in the 70s. I want to say
can I ask what he did?
It was after college. My dad was actually very lucky. My grandparents were very comfortable, right? Okay. That's the best way to put it, right? So they were able to put him in that situation where he benefited from that. And I don't remember exactly what he did initially, but I think he started a business. I don't think it went quite well, but luckily that led my mom to be able to move to the States as well when they got married. And then that's how that life started in New York. And then he owned a deli store in Flushing. It was a tough life for him. Now, I don't remember all of that stuff. I have some vague spurts of like little moments of memories about it, but I don't really know the details, right?
He didn't do that in Korea before he moved to the U.S., right?
He did not. Yeah, he did not. So that part of it, I am not too sure. But I do know that from later on him telling me, he got very jaded. It's a lot of work, right? You're working 7 days a week. It's rough. And I think he missed Korea a lot. To be honest, I think he was struggling adjusting, and also he had the store in a rough neighborhood, which is pretty typical of like Korean
immigrant experience.
Yes.
I think that's very typical.
Yes, and then he had a lot of like issues with that too. And at some point, I think he just got really fed up, which forced him to move back. So that was rough for us. Moving across the world at the age of 7, because I was already like in first grade at that point.
Right.
It's not easy. Although now that I look back at it, it was a blessing for me in disguise because like I got to learn both cultures, both
Mhm.
languages.
Did you
So
know sorry,
Mhm.
did you know so a lot of immigrant kids, if they were born in the US already, they don't really learn English until they start school. So did you learn Korean first? I'm assuming because your parents probably spoke Korean at home.
Yes, as far as speaking is concerned,
Yeah.
my parents were very strict about me only speaking Korean at home. They
Okay.
enforced that quite a bit, and of course, when I started going to school, I started learning how to write, read, and English started to take over a little bit. But that's when I moved to Korea.
Okay. So you weren't like completely fluent in English.
Not quite
Okay.
yet. I mean, of course, like I would say maybe had I been there for like another 6 months or so, it would have like been pretty foundational. But that wasn't quite there yet. And when I moved to
Mm,
Korea, I started first grade again. So I was maybe about 6 months behind my peers.
right.
And that was tough because I think back then I didn't know how to read Korean whatsoever. I
Mm,
did have some Sunday school experience back in New York.
yeah.
And I think a lot of Koreans do
Yeah.
go to
The
that
Korean
to have
weekend
some
school.
exposure, but it wasn't sufficient, right?
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
So I did that. Luckily, in about 6 to 7 months, I picked it up. I was still young enough that I was actually adapting pretty
Yeah.
quickly, and the fact that I was speaking Korean at home that helped tremendously.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I adjusted, and then soon enough, I forgot English and I was speaking
Mhm.
Korean,
So
and
you were
got
like fully immersed as a Korean child going to
yes,
Korean school.
yes, first grade all the way up until middle of ninth grade is the timeline that I spent in Korea. So that's like sufficient enough to like learn how to read, write, and do all that stuff.
Were your parents kind of, when you guys went back to Korea, did they just kind of pick up where they left off, or was it a new, fresh start for them as well? Because that probably wasn't easy for them.
It was not easy. I have to say, it's a blessing because both my grandparents were pretty financially
Okay.
comfortable,
So they
right?
kind of help support you
They
guys.
helped support, and my grand grandfather on my mother's side, he owned multiple businesses, and my dad actually started working
Okay.
there to kind of like ease into it. Um,
And it wasn't Seoul that you guys
it
went?
wasn't
Okay.
Seoul, yeah. Now that had its own issues, which led to a lot of family drama, if you will.
Yeah.
But
So family
that is
business,
for a
it's
whole
always
whole nother time. But all in all, it helped the adjustment to be a little bit pain free. And then for me, it was a tremendous opportunity being able to learn Korean.
mm,
And not just that, but being able to learn the culture and get used to it and be fully immersed.
it's. I mean, you say you have grandparents here. I think being in the US, unless like your whole extended family like all immigrate together,
Mm.
it can be a lonely experience. So
To America,
were you guys the only ones out there at the time when you were born in the
we
US?
did have some relatives in New York, but it was my dad's side, I think. So my dad is the youngest of 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
big family.
Yep. Huge
Huge
family,
family.
right?
So yeah, a
Um,
lot of cousins.
a lot of cousins. And like to be honest with you, some of them I had never even met.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I have some living in Australia. I have some living in LA. I have some
Oh,
living in
they're
New York.
all over the
All over,
world.
all over the world.
Wow.
And then because of that, it's just really hard to meet them. And because my
Mhm.
dad is the youngest of 10, the older ones are
Really
much
old.
older, really old. Exactly,
I
exactly.
so my dad's the same. He's the youngest out
Mm.
of 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang, okay,
And
wow,
I'm the youngest, I have an older brother, so
yeah,
I'm the everybody's younger,
wow.
everybody's older than me on my dad's side.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby.
Yeah, you're the
I have a
baby.
cousin that's
Yeah.
older than my dad. Oh,
Wow,
we can talk about that
crazy.
later.
Yeah. Wow,
But
interesting. My mom's side is actually pretty big too. My mom's the
yeah.
second oldest of 6,
God, what in the world? My
right?
mom's the second oldest
Yeah.
of 9.
Get
My
out of here!
What?
What? That's so crazy.
Oh my
We have so
god.
many similarities.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
it's
ridiculous.
crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't know how it
Wow.
happened for your mom's side, but you
Yeah.
know how having a son was such a big deal, especially
Mm.
back in those days. And my mom's side, this is how it worked out: daughter, daughter, which is my mom, the second one, daughter, 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 son. So let me tell you how spoiled that son is. That uncle that I have, whoo, he was
That
given everything to him.
my
Like
god,
everything in life was
that's
handed
so
to him.
hilarious because it on my mom's side is also daughter. Yeah, 6 girls first, and then 3 boys.
Wow.
Yeah,
insane.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But yeah. Let's. That's so crazy.
We went off a little off track here, but for me, just looking back at it, like besides all the family, dramas and all that stuff, I'm just thankful. In hindsight, I'm just thankful. Of course, there was a lot of like rough things we dealt with too, but at the end of the day, I would not trade the opportunity that I had to learn both language and culture.
So I'm curious, how was your experience in Korea, going to middle school, and did you partially go to high school? No, right?
So
You're 중1,
Jungsam.
2, 3.
Yeah,
and then you went to
correct.
Okay.
So for those of you listening from America, Korea has 6 years of elementary school, followed by 3 years of middle school, and then 3 years of high school. So the equivalent would be ninth grade.
Right.
Yep, I was in the middle of ninth grade basically when I left Korea. So I didn't experience Korean high school, and let me tell you, Korean high school gets very intense when it comes to education pieces, right?
Super rigorous.
And to be honest, like even in middle school, it started when I went to seventh grade. The so-called Hagwon, which is like these additional institutes that students go to, academy, after school, in order to augment the school learning. You're not going there for extracurricular activities, just so we know.
No, it's not sports and little league and no.
Yeah, it's basically because what you're being taught from school is not enough to be competitive enough for school examinations and entrance exams for some of the more elite schools, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you go for extra schooling, and I did that from 5 to 9:30 p.m. I think I did it 3 times a week.
You started doing that starting in 7th grade.
7th grade. So by the time I was done with that, coming home, it was almost 10 o'clock. I remember absolutely hating it.
Yeah.
I hated it so much. I think by the time I was about halfway through my 7th grade, I was already struggling.
You're like burnt out.
I was burnt out. Yeah. I was burnt out. Yeah.
There's no way to like have a childhood. I think it's terrible, but
I think it has gotten a little bit better in Korea, but I don't think by a whole lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even nowadays, like when I'm out sometimes in the evening, I see these kids, like young kids, walking out at like 9 o'clock from Hagwon to Hagwon.
And back then, we didn't have social media like we do now. The internet wasn't as readily available as we have it nowadays. So when I moved back to the stateside when I was 15, I remember talking to my friends via email. And that's when we had AOL and stuff like that. And I had Yahoo email, right? And I think we had MSN messengers. We also had like AOL like Messenger.
ICQ.
Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to my friends back in Korea and catching up with them and them telling me that, sometimes we're at school or this Hagwon, this academy is till like midnight, sometimes past midnight. And as you go into high school days, that's what consumed your life.
Oh my God.
And because I came back to the States when I was in ninth grade, I had the opportunity to dive into sports.
Yeah.
I played tennis, I played basketball in high school. And looking back at it, I'm like, I would have never done any of that had I stayed in Korea.
So you got to experience like, I won't say pinnacle, but that very Koreanness of like the Korean education, going to like these academies late into the night, and
I got a taste of it.
You got a taste of it
for sure.
But then you also got to experience the other side in the U.S. with like sports and like extracurricular activities that we're familiar with, not the textbook.
And to be honest with you, it was almost weird not having to go to these academies because I felt like,
all this free time.
I was like, I got to get ready for college. What do you mean I'm not studying? And then, in school, they're like, oh, no, you got to play sports. You got to do these different stuff.
You got to be well-rounded.
Yep, exactly. And like that concept did not sink into me, at least for the first couple of years or so.
Were you like anxious? You're like, I got to go to like more school after school.
Luckily not as much, because what I realized is like the academic level when it comes to how challenging it was nowhere near Korea, especially during those ages. So yes, of course I had to relearn English, and yes, of course English or anything that had to do with reading was tough. But when it came to science, when it came to math, I was ahead, in many sense. So I had a bit of a comfort, if that makes sense. Yeah, and it was nice. It was nice, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
So just to piggy off of that, I moved to US when I was only 10, but my brother, he's 6 years older. So he experienced that, and then some. He moved.
Okay.
I think he was in. I think he was in high school.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was.
It must have been pretty close to when I went then.
Yeah, because he was 10th grade when we moved. So
Gotcha.
I remember my mom would pack him lunch and dinner to school. So I wouldn't see him until like I was probably sleeping by the time he came home.
And this is when you
Or
were in
close
Korea.
to. This was
Right.
and I was in elementary school, so
That's crazy.
and I just wouldn't really see him during that time. So a lot of my memories with him are when I was even younger, when he was like maybe middle school,
Gotcha.
before high school. So
Yeah, like that's it should not be that way. And I don't wish that upon my kids. I honestly want them to just like grow up experiencing life, being active, learning how to be good human beings. That's what I want.
and just kind of talking about the present, a lot of us we're privileged to have this option to like send our kids to Korean school if we want to, like in our circumstances.
Right.
And we have the option to pull them out and be like, oh no, we don't want them going to middle school. It's too hard. So a lot of people would either just go back to the US or send them to international school or school on the base. So I see that quite a few cases around.
Yeah. So I would say coming back here and then like trying to play sports, that was like a very refreshing experience for me. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I remember having lots of nights staying up playing StarCraft. Staying up playing Diablo
In the
1
US?
and 2. In the US.
What about in Korea?
Oh,
Like
yes.
you didn't go to
Yes,
PC Bang?
I did do that.
The PC cafe.
PC cafes. That actually, the PC cafe culture actually started in 1997. And that was when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then going from
prime time, like that
Correct.
teenage years.
Correct. So 97 is when it started. And in 98, when StarCraft 1, the original one came out, that's when it really started booming. So from Jungi, which is 8th grade, till the next year when I moved to the stateside, that year, oh boy. I remember a bunch of my friends got together and said, you know what? Let's just all get on the same page and say that we're having a sleepover at one of our friends' house. But in reality, we went to a PC bang and stayed up all night playing games.
Got on big game hunters.
Yes.
The free for all.
Hey, no rushing until the first 20 minutes. Have you done those?
So that's one thing I never got to really experience, that prime time PC bang experience. But we did have LAN parties in the States.
That's funny.
Because we're with a bunch of Asian nerdy kids. So we would bring our computer. Did we bring our desktops? I don't remember. It was desktop.
At that point, I would say it's going to be desktop.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah.
And either that, or we would just try to get on in our dial-up computer.
Yep.
And play StarCraft. So yeah, I did play a unhealthy amount of StarCraft too.
and I actually remember really missing that when I moved back to the stateside. Yeah. When I was in Jersey, I remember just playing Diablo super late at night. But it was like just me.
Right.
Yeah, and
Diablo
with my brother. Yeah, we would do that. I would say those were some of my core memories. When I moved back here, because it was kind of hard making friends, because a lot of the kids, right, going into high school, you had your own little group of friends, you had your little cliques, if you will, and that's a pretty impressionable time. Yeah. That's a sensitive time, right, for adolescents. So that was actually a really tough transition for me.
I want to ask about your brother. So you have one younger brother?
I have one younger brother. He's just about, we're a year apart, but we're 20 months apart, so almost 2 years.
Would you say you guys were pretty close growing up?
Oh yeah,
you guys kind of went through all this chaos together.
We went through the chaos quite a bit. We went through phases where I beat the crap out of him, which was a very long period of time. I'm pretty sure he still holds grudges against me.
Hey, as an older brother, that's your duty, right? I mean, keep him in line.
There were some rough ones, but yeah.
You guys are so close in age.
Yes. Absolutely. There's definitely a bit of a rivalry thing too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's kind of my experience, and I had to go through that again coming back here. But what about you? Because you came to America when you were 10, and then after that, it was straight adjusting to this culture, and that was it until much later in life when you moved back to Korea.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, there was a point where I did come to Korea to teach English.
That's right.
So I have a very atypical upbringing, I guess,
Mm.
compared to most Kyopols, like
Okay.
Korean Americans, because I grew up in like the very countryside in the mountains. So most
In
most
Korea.
Koreans who immigrate, they're usually from the city, right? Like
Yes.
from Seoul or Busan or wherever.
Mhm. That's just how Korea is for the most part.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that kind of know how to get out, or they have the opportunities to get out.
Sure.
So for me, I'm from this very small town called Taebaek in Gangwon-do.
Oh, wow. It's okay. All the way out there on
Yeah,
the
in the
west side.
mountains.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
right now, there's no young people that live there.
Mm.
It's known really more for like tourist destination, skiing, hiking.
Yep.
There's Taebaek-san, the
Right,
mountain
right.
there.
It's really pretty area.
It
Yeah.
is, but it's like very remote.
Right.
And
Right.
growing up, so that's where I was born. And the reason why we were there is because there was a boom in the coal mine. That's a coal mine town. So in the 70s and 80s, a lot of people kind of rushed there because there's a lot of coal, and
Mhm.
everybody back in the days they used coal to heat up the rooms. So that's where I grew up. I was until I was 10, and I think I have one family that lived in the US by then. My uncle, dad's older brother, his so I think they tried to sponsor us, but we needed like a legal reason to move to the US. So my dad actually applied for like a business visa to move to US, and they told me that he failed twice, and then the third time he got a not laundromat. I'm sorry, cleaning
Like dry cleaning
dry.
services?
Yeah, sorry,
Ah.
like setakso, like
Yeah,
dry
yeah, that's
cleaning
yep, yep, yep.
service. License.
That's another commonly thought of business
Yes,
among
yeah,
Korean
very
immigrants.
typical
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
deli dry cleaning
And they do
gas
well, by the
station.
way. They do very well.
So
Yeah.
because that's not what he did when he was in Korea. He was working in a coal mine,
Mhm.
but he got that, and then on his third try, he passed the interview.
Mhm.
So we got our business visa, and that's how we moved to the US. So he said it took about 10 years. So potentially, if he got it the
Wow.
first time, I might have been born in the US, or I would have been like a
Oh.
really young baby.
Dang, okay. Then you would have
So
disqualified for almost Korean. Yeah, not enough Korean.
not enough. Not at all Korean.
Not at all Korean.
Not at all. 100% American.
We'll just have you on as a guest, you know?
Yeah.
So what do you want to learn about Korea?
But I'm
Yeah.
like so thankful for that experience growing up in the US, because growing up, I was very self-conscious, and like people would like call me chonnom, and like I like taught my like American friends that word, and they would just like make fun of me, and I was like a country boy.
Oh, that has to do with where you grew up in
Yeah,
Korea.
like
Okay.
chonnom is
Yeah,
like
yeah. Mhm.
But now looking back, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything else, because I grew up literally in like a third world country setting. We didn't have hot water at our house. We didn't have our own
wow.
bathroom. I would have to run down stairs to like an outhouse where it's just literally like a hole, like sewage. Like, you
Wow.
know what I'm
That's
talking about? Like
rough. Yeah,
Taebaek,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah. I know what you're
old
talking about.
school.
Mhm.
They would have to pump out the stuff every week. You can smell
There was
it.
no plumbing service.
No,
That's just
no. It's literally
you
a
have to
hole.
manually.
Yeah. There was like a story where my dad got drunk and he dropped his wallet there.
Oh no! Oh, that's horrible.
And he like hired some like neighborhood kids like fish it out with like a tamjari net, like a
like
little
net.
it's like a net to
Yeah,
catch
fishing
a
net.
dragonfly back in. Anyways,
Oh my
so some kid
goodness.
actually got it, and then he I don't know why he didn't throw it out. He ended up washing it like 10 times, and he would actually use that wallet. And it was I remember it still smelled after like weeks. I was like, Dad, why didn't you throw that out?
That
It's
is disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can kind of picture my childhood in that way. Like,
Wow.
we
Okay.
didn't have a microwave. And I told this story before where I would watch TV, like Saved by the Bell, I think was on TV, and some other American show I would watch, and like I would watch kids like eat burger and pizza. I'm like, oh, I want to try that. Like,
Well, you were watching this from Korea?
yeah.
Oh, so they were actually on TV.
It was. Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
wow.
watching some of those shows. Power Ranger, like
EBS?
Simpsons. I don't even know which channel.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
this was back in the day where the TV cuts off at nighttime, and it's just like,
That's
like
right. That's right. There was nothing like
yeah, there were
after
only like
certain
4
hours.
channels or
Yeah.
5 channels.
SBS, KBS,
Yeah.
NBC.
I think SBS also came later. That was only in Seoul.
No,
It didn't
was
have
it?
it in Chibang, like
That's
local,
right.
yeah,
SBS is
regional.
Seoul Bangzong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that is
I don't think
crazy.
SBS was on. Yeah, and then we had the rotary phones, like where you have to like turn
Right.
the dial to call. So yeah, we didn't have a remote control to TV, so they would always make me get up and change the channel.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was my environment growing up. So my mom sold. We lived in this like Shijang, like market, and she sold eggs and rice. So I grew up in the Shijang, like the market,
Gotcha.
because I didn't go to like preschool or like daycare. Like my mom I was just
brought you there.
Yeah, I would be on her back when I was a baby, like in the bojagi. Like you know how they wrap you in the back. I didn't have like a stroller or anything.
Do you have any memories of what you did when you were at the market with your mom? Because like
Yeah.
I'm sure those are long hours.
Yeah, so I would just sit there sometimes, like when I was old enough. My brother, whenever he was available, he would help out. But I was just kind of sit there. I remember, you know, the yontan, like where they burn it. It was right next to where we sat, and then there's like a lid on it. So we would just put eggs on top, and it would slowly roast. I remember, like I would eat that. I grew up eating a lot of eggs, obviously, because we have eggs. And then I would literally live at the arcades, starting maybe 5, 6 years old. Yeah, so there were neighborhood like arcade, and then like every time I come home from school, I would just ask my mom like, "엄마, 100원만." 100원만 is like, "Mom, 100
Can I have a
won.
dollar,
Can I get
right, almost?
100
Yeah,
won?"
yeah.
100 won is like 10 cents back then.
Yeah.
And I would spend hours with that. They had a machine to change the 100won to 50won
Okay.
because each game would only be 50won.
50won.
Yeah. So that was my childhood. I just grew up going to arcade. So my nickname, my mom's like, "Oh, your nickname is 100원만."
Wow.
Yeah, and then I would go around Shijang, like the market. I would know everybody, so I would be very courteous. I would be like, "Hello, 안녕하세요." Like everyone knew me. And then I would go around like collecting soju bottles and beer bottles to sell to the market, so I could get extra change.
I did that too.
Yeah, so I could get like those days I had extra cash to play.
Wow. So wait, did this continue all the way up until you were 10 before you moved?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my childhood. It's very different.
Very different.
Yeah. Another little story is that there's one like big hospital, and that's the only place where they had an elevator. So me and my friends would go there sometimes just to ride the elevator. That's why I'm like chonnom, right?
Elevator was fun.
Yeah. Like nowadays people like dread riding elevator, but that was really, it's like cool to us, right?
Yeah.
It's something different, new. So
wow, man, I learned something new about you. I mean, I knew you. That's where you grew up, or that's where you were born. But like those details, obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of those
very interesting.
A lot of those things I still remember because that's like my core memory. And that's not something I would ever experience again.
Oh no, especially not nowadays. And now that we have the means to be able to provide a better life for our kids, we don't have a reason to go back to that.
And it was really surreal going back there. So I had a couple of my American friends visit last year. So we drove out there to my hometown because I really wanted to see. We took like pictures in front of the arcade. It's like still there, but it's like abandoned.
That's so cool.
And then
that is pretty cool.
I took my kids to my old elementary school, and they were running around. I have videos and pictures from there.
I did the same thing. A couple of years ago, I brought my kids to my old elementary school. We checked it out, and then we went to the apartment playground where I used to play growing up. They had this like giant steel shaped thing in the playground in the shape of an ant. So we used to call it Kemidorito, ant playground, right? But like they completely redid it. That went away. So I was like, oh man, like I wish they still had that. But I remember bringing my kids there when my son was only 4 years old. My daughter was like 2.
Yeah,
and I took some pictures there. So pretty cool.
That's a cool. It's like a full circle, right? Like
it is.
Just having your kids see like where you grew up and where you went. So it was really fun. What else from my childhood? I think I covered a lot of it. I'm sure I'm missing a
Me
lot.
too. Me too.
The biggest thing for me, so growing up, I had a lot of family. I had my grandma, grandpa lived up the street. My oldest aunt was nearby too. So regularly, I would go over there to have dinners and have meals. My aunt and uncles, um, my older cousins were there growing up, and every holiday, 설날, the
Hmm.
Lunar New Year, and Chuseok,
Hmm.
all the family members would come to our area, so I would always hang
Mm.
out with them.
Yeah. Those are
So
fun.
yeah,
I miss those times
yeah.
a lot.
So when I went to the US, that kind of like completely disappeared,
That's
right?
right.
So just to touch up on what my experience in the US after I moved. So we moved to Washington D.C. area because that's where my uncle was. So we wanted to settle nearby.
Makes sense.
So we were in Maryland, and that's where I essentially grew up. And my dad, like when he first came to US, he had a really hard time adjusting because he doesn't work well with people. He's a very prideful man.
That sounds like my dad.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of
A lot
Korean
of
dads
Korean
in that
in that
generation.
generation.
That's why they start their own business because they
Yeah.
can't work under people. So
Yep.
that's exactly what happened. He tried to work at some dry cleaning places. He
Mhm.
just couldn't work under people. He couldn't be
Mm.
told what to do. So
Mm.
luckily he learned how to do shoe repair, and so he opened his own shop, and
Nice.
that's what he did in the
Okay.
US until he retired. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So my dad, I think he had a little too high of expectation for his older brother to like help him out and
Mm.
like do all of that. And I think my Knappa, my uncle, was maybe a little more Americanized by then. And my dad felt, long story short, there was a little conflict and we didn't like see them for a while. So I
Uh,
felt very isolated from family. It was just us four.
mm.
And we didn't have any like too many friends. I think we tried going to church, but my parents were never church people,
Mm.
so
For
we could,
social reasons,
yeah,
right?
social reasons, right?
Yep.
Like a lot of Korean immigrants kind of turn to church for social and cultural
Yep.
reasons.
I
And
went through that too, so I can totally relate.
then at some point we stopped going to church. So luckily for me, I was the youngest and I was able to get acculturated
Hmm.
quickest,
Hmm.
and my parents had some tough time,
For sure. For sure.
and my brother as well. But so for me personally, I met my core group of friends in middle school
Hmm.
who are still like my best friends to this
To this
day.
day. Yeah.
And I remember getting invited to like a birthday party for the first time in sixth grade, and I think that's when I felt accepted in the U.S. I was like, oh, I
Mm.
have friends that I can hang out with. Um, yeah, that's how I kind of um, settled in to US.
That's awesome. I think maybe next time I can talk a little bit more because, like, you were settling in, starting to feel accepted
Mm.
as I was going to yet another transition.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because
Yeah.
you went from US to Korea
Right.
and then back to US.
Hmm.
I think around the time when I was starting to feel more comfortable in
Right.
my own skin
So I don't
in
know
the
when
US.
exactly that was for you, but when I moved to the States, I had just turned 15. And 4 months to be exact. It was June of 1999, and that's a very sensitive time, right?
Yeah.
You're going through high
High
school,
school,
you're a
puberty, yeah,
teenager.
teenager,
It's a tough
hormones.
time in general. And then, like, I went to a totally isolated neighborhood. We didn't know anybody there. My mom also purposely chose a neighborhood that didn't have a Korean town or a big Korean community, if you will,
Mm.
so that I don't get associated with all the Koreans that just hang out by themselves and be cliquey and never learn English.
Yep.
She wanted to avoid that at all costs,
Mm.
which now I'm thankful for, but
Mm.
at the time it was very, very difficult.
See
Um,
that.
so I don't know if I'm sure you had this too, but the Korean market, they used to have like a video section,
Oh
video
yeah.
shops.
Yeah.
Well, they'll record Korean
Yep.
shows in VHS videos.
Yeah. It was a weekly affair for us.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. I remember going to I somehow found out one of these that existed. And I had to get there by taking a train and then a bus. It took like an hour and 40 minutes to do this. And I remember doing this like on a once every 2 weeks or so.
Wait, you did that yourself?
I did
Your
that myself.
parents didn't drive there?
No, I did this with my brother because my mom. So when we moved back to the stateside, my mom was by herself. My parents separated at that point. My dad stayed back because of a business he had, and my mom just came forward with
Okay, I didn't
my
know
brother
that.
and I. So it was just the three of us. So like she was always working, and then she could not really find a job. How do I say it? Like a professional career, language barrier, and just all kinds of challenges. She worked at a 7-Eleven because the pay is minimum wage. The only way she can make more was by doing overtime. So she was always there, always working. So at a very early time, I had to kind of like learn how to do things on my own along with my brother. So we would do this trip to these Korean video stores every 2 weeks or so, and we would get like 30 videos and have like 4 freaking like plastic bags, and we'll be on a bus and a train.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and we'll watch those, and we'll like go to a local like Burger King or like pizza restaurant and like, get some cheese pizza and watch that. Like that's what we would do.
That's like
all
your
the
happy
time.
time. Like,
Yes.
that's your
Yes. Yeah. That was a bunch of my high school time. Like all the cool stuff that I saw in Hollywood movies that had high school as a background, I always just like envied that. I was like, oh, when do I ever get to experience this? When do I ever get a chance to like do something that's fun? So like to me, going to college was the okay, I'm fully like immersed in now, and this is the time for me to put a reset button in my life. It was like that moment for me because like I kind of like threw away high school. I was like, our high school is a wash. I'm not even gonna consider trying to make anything out of my high school. Let me just get out of here. Let me get accepted to a university and start something new. And that's just kind of how I looked at it. So it was rough. It was rough.
How long were you in ESOL for?
I'm sorry?
ESOL? You were in ESOL, right? When you first went to English is
Oh,
second
you're talking
language?
ESL.
ESL.
Yeah.
I call it ESOL.
Okay. I don't think I ever heard that.
Okay. ESL. English is second
language. Yep.
I don't know what the O is for, but I always knew it as ESOL.
I thought it was always ESL. English as second language.
Yeah. I don't know what the O is.
I never knew there was an O.
Yeah. At least that's how that's what I took. Yeah, ESOL.
Okay. So yeah, I was in ESL for, I would say for English classes, 9th grade, all of 9th grade, and I think somewhere in 10th grade I was able to get out of it.
Oh, really? That's quick.
It was not that bad, but I still struggled as far as keeping up. It was still hard. Yeah.
But, I was in ESOL, so I got held back about 6 months as well. 4th grade, half of 4th grade, 5th grade, and then I graduated elementary school, and then I think I did like 1 semester of ESOL in middle school, and then they brought me straight into honors English.
Oh. Oh dang! They were like, oh, hey,
I guess you're ready.
Asians are smart. I'm sure he'll figure it out.
I have good memories about ESOL because like for me, I didn't know any English when I went to the US.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I knew how are you? My name is I'm fine and thank you and do you. That's literally all I knew, and then ABCs.
Hey, I knew it's up to you.
Oh my god, that story. Crazy.
But yeah, it's funny looking back at that. It's so funny, like also hearing from another person's perspective. From your experience. That's fun. That's fun. Like now I can look back and laugh at it. But of course, at the time,
it was hard.
It was hard. Some of them were traumatizing.
I remember when I first started school, they would just have me color. I'm like a 4th grade kid. I would just sit there and color while the kids are having like spelling bee contests or reading or writing because I couldn't do any of that. So I mean, I got pulled to take my ESL class, but when I wasn't, I'm just like sitting there coloring. I remember, and then this one time they had like a jump rope contest, and I thought I was pretty good at jump rope. But I found out later that I missed because my parents, or we didn't know this paper my parents had to like sign for like a waiver or whatever. So I didn't do it. So I got held back in class, like decorating classroom with like 1 or 2 other kids who didn't want to participate while everyone was at the gym, like doing jump rope.
Oh man.
So I was like so bummed out, I remember.
Oh man.
But those are I guess typical immigrant experiences that you kind of have to miss out, and also you grow up fast.
Definitely.
As an immigrant child, because you have to. I remember signing stuff for my parents in middle school.
Yeah.
They don't know how to read it, so I just read it and just like forge my parents' signature.
I think it forces you to be in a situation where you have to grow fast.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Not necessarily. Yeah,
it is. But I'm like, you mature fast too.
Yeah, mature faster. Yeah. You're more independent. You get more things done.
And you know what? Like, look at us. We grew up okay. So yeah,
grew up okay.
Yeah.
And we're back in Korea here.
And how fun is that? Full circle, like you said.
Full circle, exactly. Yeah. So now I get to kind of provide this experience back to my kids who are very American. We gotta get them, the knowledge that we have on Korean language, history, and culture.
Yeah,
and that's what it's about.
Yeah, Tae. Yeah, it was fun finding out about your childhood, man. Like that's really awesome.
Yeah,
that's really awesome.
Yeah, I feel like we probably just cracked the surface of it. Right?
There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. But I think I'll probably have a little bit more. I think I'll deep dive into on the next episode.
We'll crack open a bottle of soju and talk about it some more offline, maybe.
Do we need to censor that out, or can we still have it? Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Chilo will sponsor us.
No.
But all right, cool. Well, I think that was fun. Yeah, that was pretty fun going into those.
Let's wrap it up here for now, and let's hop on another episode next time.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to Almost Korean. That's it.
Peace out.
Peace.